What up, YouTube? JH's Reborn here, and welcome to another edition of After the Movie. I'm recording this video at the request of a YouTube user who said, after they watched my Annabelle Creation review, after the movie, they said, "Hey, this is pretty good. Why don't you go talk about the other films in the Conjuring series?" I'm like, you know what? I just might do that. And I'm like, should I do after the movie, or should I just, write them all out? And I'm like, well, it's easier if I just do this. I know I've done a lot of after the movies lately because, writing them and putting them together does make the video look a lot better. But, for this series, I'm like, you know what, I might as well just do an after the movie. So, here's what I'm going to do. I got The Conjuring right here. I'm up at my cottage. Weather's been kind of iffy today, and I'm kind of just relaxing, taking it easy. I'm like, it feels good to be on vacation. So, yeah, I'm going to go ahead and rewatch The Conjuring, and I'll let you know what I think of it completely, fresh in my head. It's been a little while since I've seen it, but I remember liking The Conjuring, and I really love The Conjuring 2, and I thought Annabelle was a piece of shit. But I'll rewatch this one again, see how it holds up, and I'll let you know what I think of it all after the movie. So, see you soon. Alright, JT's Reborn back again, and I just got done finished rewatching The Conjuring right over here. As you can see, the weather is cleared up a lot better too. It's like, you go through hell and there's a light at the end of the tunnel. So, yeah, that's that. So, The Conjuring. Let's talk about this movie. So, for those of you who don't know, The Conjuring is based on true events. The Conjuring tells the thrilling story of ghost hunters Lorraine and Ed Warren, played by Vera Farmiga and Patrick Wilson, who help a family terrorized by an evil spirit in this mysterious farmhouse. So, the Conjuring series is centered around demons, ghosts, very spooky stuff that goes on in the night, and creepy dolls, conduits, all sorts of crazy shit. So this is the first film in the Conjuring universe is what they're calling it now. This movie came out in 2013, and it kind of took the year by storm. It took the summer by storm because it had a pretty good opening, and then it had great legs. It's, horror films generally drop off pretty fast, but The Conjuring had, good word of mouth, and it went on to make a shit ton of money for Warner Brothers. And then they had Annabelle, which wasn't very good, but that still made a shit ton of money. And then same thing goes for The Conjuring 2. And then it looks like Annabelle Creation is going to be doing that too. See, I was excited to see this movie when it came out because this is James Wan's first horror movie after Insidious. Now, Insidious is one of the best surprises I've had at the movies. I ended up seeing that film twice. I went into Insidious, let's see what's going on with this one. And Insidious, I'm going to be honest, a lot of moments generally, scared me. And I'm like, oh, this is great. Great tension, likable leads. And so James Wan took those techniques and he brought them to The Conjuring. And for the most part, he's able to replicate that success, and this movie ended up doing better business than Insidious did, but it's still a solid movie. I prefer the first Insidious to this movie, and I prefer The Conjuring 2 to this one still, but in terms of horror movies, you take the good when you can get them, and this one is a good movie. It's very, very solid. In fact, the acting around is pretty good. The kids do a good job. The family that they go and help, you got your creepy moments too, like the clapping scenes. Just the doll Annabelle. I love the time period. It's set late 60s, early 70s for their cases, and they even have hints of what they're going to do in the future. It's well done. And the two leads, Vera Farmiga, who plays Lorraine Warren, she's also on Bates Motel. When that show was around. She's great on that show. She's a great actress here. And then you have Patrick Wilson, who's also really good as Ed Warren. These two are really likable leads. I think that's what, separates The Conjuring from, other horror franchises, because you have these two leads who are just likable people. You laugh with them, you fear for them, you smile for them. You're like, God, you know what? What they have is special. And, good for them. So they got their daughter too, and they got their family, and they just want to help people. Some of them Ed Warren, he's just he the only reason he's a little hesitant to take this case in the beginning is because of a previous case that they had done where it just kind of messed up Lorraine a bit, and she wouldn't eat or drink or talk to anyone for 8 days, and it was a rough period. So he's concerned for the health of his wife, but you know what, with her there, she's like, no, we got to help these people. He's like, you're right, you're right. And, you know, they're likable. They help these people. And they're never cynical. They're never jerks about anything. They're like, no, we're going to help you out. And I'm like, so thankful for that. None of this like bullshit, you know, some characters are like, ah, why do I have to do this? Ugh. But none of that shit. No, these two, they generally want to help people. They're there to get proof, and then, like, you know, the church comes in, performs exorcisms and all that. But in this case, like, they kind of have no choice to, like, because this family is going through hell. I mean, we find out that, like, the property was, there was some bad shit that happened. There was, like, witchcraft and people dying left and right, children dying. And it was just a really messed up, you know, place to live. And, you know, it's creepy. It's generally a creepy movie. I mean, it didn't quite scare me like watching it this time because, you know, I've seen it before, and I saw it when it came out in theaters, and then I've seen it again since home video. Plus, it's kind of like, you know, the middle of day, and even though I'm by myself up here, it still genuinely has some really freaky moments. My favorite scenes, I love the clapping scene. I thought that was really intense. And if I had to pick another thing, oh, another thing that's great about this movie, the music. The music is so eerie as soon as you hear it. Like, James Wan is an expert when it comes to, like, bringing people who, like, do the music for his movies. It just makes them really eerie. I mean, great music in James Wan horror movies. Like, Insidious, it's like, ree, ree, and it's like, ugh. You just feel like, it kind of creeped out. And then this one, it's just like, and you hear that choir, and you're just like, ooh, like, you're automatically, like, you know, the goosebumps start to form on your arms and stuff, and it kind of freaks you out. So, yeah, that's good. I don't know what to spoil. I mean, I think pretty much since there's a sequel, nobody really dies in this movie. But I highly recommend checking out The Conjuring, and I also recommend checking out The Conjuring 2 and skipping Annabelle, the first one, if you can. But Annabelle Creation was solid. Annabelle Creation was pretty good. David F. Sandberg, who also made Lights Out, made that one. So, yeah, I don't have The Conjuring 2 with me up in my cottage, so, like, when I get back, you know, to my house, I'll go ahead and rewatch that, and then I'll rewatch Annabelle, and then I'll try and get some after the movies on those films. So, yeah, we'll do that. And, yeah. So, I want to thank you all for watching this and for requesting this video. I'll go ahead and put it all together. And, yeah, go check out The Conjuring. It's a solid horror movie. I hope they make a third one soon because these Conjuring movies, I feel like since James Wan kind of took over a bit, like, in terms of, like, the mainstream horror, in terms of, like, good quality stuff, we're seeing more now. Like, I feel like since Insidious, like, he's kind of raised the bar with that, and then, like, especially, like, this movie, because now we're starting to see some good, solid horror movies come out, and in terms of mainstream, because I'm sure there's, like, a lot of good, like, indie horror stuff, but, you know, they're relying on suspense, they're relying on building tension instead of shitty jump scares. I mean, we still have our crappy films here and there. I mean, the first Annabelle was a piece of shit, and, you know, that movie was just like jump scares. Nothing was really built up or intense. No scary sequences. Like, there's restraint in this movie, and James Wan is an expert at crafting suspenseful scenes. So, yeah, I hope he comes back for Conjuring 3. I know he's making Aquaman right now, and he said he's gonna bring some of his horror element to that. I'm like, oh yes, like he's gonna scare the shit out of people because James Wan is awesome at that. So, yeah, hopefully, you know, Conjuring 3 comes out soon. I'm sure they're working on it right now, and James Wan should come back to direct it because, like, you know, the spin-offs, yeah, I can understand him not making those ones, but, like, still producing and involved in the storylines and that. But, like, James Wan has to make The Conjuring 3. He has to get a solid trilogy in there because, I mean, he did Insidious 1 and 2, and Insidious 2, while I like that movie, it's not, like, as good as the first one. And then Insidious 3, I think, is maybe a slight improvement over that one, but it doesn't match the tension I had with the first movie. So, yeah, I hope James Wan comes back, makes a third Conjuring movie. And I'm also looking forward to the next film in the Conjuring universe, The Nun, because that fucking creepy-ass demonic nun, Valak or whatever, scares the shit out of me. So, yeah. Anyways, thank you all for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. Be sure to comment, like, and subscribe, and let me know in the comments below what you thought of The Conjuring. So, yeah. I'll talk to you all later. Peace out.